Well, welcome to another episode of It's Steven Time. I'm your host, Steven Alexander. In today's episode, I have Student Government Association President Sydney Hawkins here to discuss the organization's involvement on campus. And later in the show, I have 13-year-old entrepreneur Kierra Perkins here to share her story and how she is breaking barriers. So kick back and relax. You're watching IST.
There's a Steven Show, the Steven Show, the Steven Show, yeah.
As college students, community involvement is vital. It allows us to be more creative by using our critical thinking skills and professionalism. Here today to discuss what SGA does for our campus is Sydney Hawkins. So how are you, Sydney?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. It's different looking at you on this show because normally you're on the news, so it's different having you on as a guest.
It is, and I like that. Thank you for the invitation. I like that you've invited me because it allows me to be more personable and I get to talk and have a conversation.
But that's right, that's right. Well, my first question to you is tell us your position with SGA.
Okay, so Student Government Association, it's the organization that represents the student body on campus, and I'm the president, so I am the representation for SGA, and I get to meet with President White a lot. I get to go to the President Cabinet's meetings and just give my voice as like the collective voice as student government.
Okay, so what like made you want to get involved with SGA? Like, because it's a lot, so what made you want to get involved with it?
But since I was like in kindergarten, I've always enjoyed to lead and advocate and just advocate for my peers and people in my community. So I was in tribunal, which is like the judicial branch of SGA, my sophomore year. So this is my junior year, so I just decided to run because like I said, I love advocating for people and just, leading.
And why do you think that's so vital for us as college students? Like, why do you think it's a vital thing that we should be doing is leading and not, I guess, like, it's cool. Some people are just not natural leaders, but why do you think we should encourage people to lead more?
Well, I would say it's just great to, like you said, everyone's not a natural leader. So if you have that characteristic and you have that ability, why not take on the responsibility as well? Like, I've learned so much as a leader. I've met a lot of people, and it's just been really great interacting and using my voice for positivity.
Yeah. So in what ways does SGA kind of fit the needs of students and their concerns? Like, how do you guys go about that?
Okay, so it kind of works like the United States judicial system. So we are responsible for, like I said, advocating for the student body. So we have senators, and they can write legislation about things that they want to see changed on campus, and I can sign to approve or veto that. So I always tell my senators, go out, talk to the people in your classrooms, the people on your campus and in your community, talk to them and see what they like about campus, what they don't like, what they would like to see changed or enhanced, and we can actually write legislation to approve those things. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you guys try to strive to make a difference for our campus, and what skill sets do you guys kind of use to make a difference for our campus?
Well, we try to get to know everyone. So we have name tags, and my SGA Vice President, he tells the senators all the time to wear your name tags aren't limited just in SGA meetings. Wear your name tags, get to know the people in your classrooms and on your campus community so we can advocate for you and be the voice for you. We just try to encourage people. We have 3 major events. Mud Bowl just passed.
Yes, can you talk about that? Like, a lot of people watching may be like, okay, I heard about Mud Bowl, I saw photos, but what's the purpose behind that?
So Mud Bowl is just one of our events that we do just for fun to boost our morale in the middle of the semester. So Mud Bowl is a volleyball game in a pit of mud. So it's teams that go against each other in volleyball, and they play in a pit of mud. They get really muddy. We have food there. We have water because it's usually really hot, so you want to stay hydrated. So it's just one of our annual events that we do.
Okay, so you're talking about kind of like how you guys stay involved. So what ways do you guys kind of promote the school spirit? Because it's a lot of like hyperness and like, trying to stay active and keep people engaged. So how do you guys do that?
Recently, we've been trying to promote our social media platforms because everyone uses social media, and we do try to give little pieces of encouragement on our social media platforms, but that's not limited to us encouraging people every day in the hallways. Just talking to people,
So what are some upcoming events that you guys are having?
So the 3 major events, we go. I keep saying ghosts. Mud Bowl just passed. We have ghosts coming up.
Yes, can you talk about ghosts? Because you keep mentioning it. So you obviously that means you want to talk about it. So
Yeah.
let's talk about it.
Okay, so Mud Bowl is pretty limited to the student body, but Ghost, that's a community event, the Clarksville community. I would say people from Nashville could even come down, and it's where we have organizations sign up, and typically it's on the Forterra Stadium, but this year we're doing it a little different. We're going to be around Austin Peay campus. So usually it's on the Forterra Stadium and people walk around and you do like a trick or treat. I know like different scientific clubs, they have like where you can make ice cream, where they do different scientific things. We have a tent and we hand out candy and just information about how you can get involved with Student Government Association. So yes, typically it's on the Forterra Stadium, but this year people are going to be walking around Austin Peay's campus. And like I said, it's open to the community, especially the student body, Austin Peay.
And what are the dates again?
Ghost is going to be October 27th.
Okay.
And that's a Sunday.
Okay.
Mud Bowl was on a Sunday, and the big event, we try to do things on a Sunday because we know Saturdays are football or basketball games. So yes, Ghost is October 27th, a Sunday.
So I kind of want to make a transition. I want to talk a little bit about like, because obviously you're very professional and just on camera, just your presence, you have news background, so you know what's up. You know what's up behind these scenes. I just kind of want to talk about like, how has being a part of SGA allowed you to be professional as a student and just grow your professionalism?
That's a good question. Like you said, I tried to remain professional, so I think that I've always had a professional background, but like I said, meeting with President White and the provost and the deans of each college, that has allowed me to, or kind of forced me to kind of level up a little. Like, not in a bad way. Like, I love change, I love growth, I love, you know, just becoming a better person. So like I said, it's forced me to level up and, you know, just remain professional and learn new things. Another event that I want to highlight is the etiquette dinner. Have you heard of that?
I have heard of that. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Well, that's not an SGA event. I want to say it's student life and engagement, but whenever I see something like that, I try to utilize the opportunities because, as I was just telling one of your guests who's looking into becoming a Gov, like Austin Peay has so many opportunities for us to grow as young adults and people in general. So Student Life and Engagement hosted a leadership conference, and I went to that, and they're doing an etiquette dinner, and I went to that. So I'm always trying to just grow as an individual as well as a leader.
And that's good because you can inspire so many other students, and like not just students, but when you get out in the professional world, you can inspire people. Like, how do you do this, and how do you, like, you can just inspire people. I kind of want to know, like, why do you feel that community involvement is so important for college students? Because you're the president, so like, why would you say it's so important, not as just college students, but people in general? Why is being involved in the community so vital?
I think it's vital because I like to write little quotes on, I love sticky notes, I live by sticky notes, so I use them as reminders, and I use them to write inspirational quotes, and I put them on my wall. And I was watching an interview with Michelle Obama one day, and she said, life is practice, or something like, I don't want to quote her, but she said something like, your life is practice for what you're going to do. So I think that as college students, people think that, oh, we're just living our life, you know, we don't really need to be involved, but we're going to graduate and move on sometime. So you need to practice being involved and knowing your community, because you're going to want to know your community when you settle down in a different city or things of that nature. Yeah.
So for students who are watching and want to get involved with SGA, how can they get involved? Like, what are some requirements that you guys have?
I want to say our grade point average requirement for senators is a 2.75, and for executive council, so my position, vice president, chief justice, or executive secretary, is a 3.0. But we're always allowing volunteers. So people typically cannot become members unless someone drops out in the middle of the semester or at the end of spring semester. That's when we hold elections. But we always encourage people to come out and volunteer. We had a couple of volunteers come to help us with Mud Bowl, so they helped pass out pizza. And you guys can use this for Tennessee Promise hours. Okay. So, or just to volunteer. Like you said, community involvement is so vital. So if you want to just volunteer and help out your Austin Peay campus, you can always come to our events and volunteer.
Okay, so lastly, what advice would you give students who feel that they are afraid of rejection because they want to join this organization, they want to join any organization, but they are afraid, like, oh my goodness, like, what if I'm not fit for it? Like, what advice would you give that student who's holding themselves back?
Can I get religious on the show?
Sure.
Okay, I was just gonna say trust God's plan. Like rejection, everyone hates rejection. I hate rejection, like, but seriously, trust God's plan. Like I've thought of,
Well, you gotta wrap up. But no, keep saying what you're saying.
Well,
Go ahead,
I've just been rejected, and like when I got approved for something, I realized, okay, this is why I was rejected for this, because this is why I was approved.
Right. So just waiting on God's plan.
Yes.
Well, Sydney, thank you so much for your time. Thank you. You're welcome anytime. You're welcome anytime. Guys, we must take a quick commercial break, but when we return, we will have 13-year-old entrepreneur Kierra Perkins here. So stay tuned. You're watching IST.
I'm from Clarksville, Tennessee.
Fort Knox, Kentucky.
Jackson, Tennessee.
Hawkinsville, Kentucky.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Knoxville, Tennessee.
Little Rock, Arkansas.
St. Louis, Missouri.
Gaffney, South Carolina.
Seattle, Washington.
Jeremy, Haiti.
I'm from Três Pontas, Brazil.
Chicago, Illinois.
Hawaii.
Phoenix, Arizona.
Brazelton, Georgia.
From Modesto, California. I want to be a neonatal nurse.
An athletic trainer and accountant.
Playing the NFL.
Interior designer. Physical therapist.
Law enforcement officer.
Ultrasound technician.
Social worker.
Physician.
Politician.
Psychologist.
CPA.
Your social worker.
Nurse practitioner.
Physical therapist.
Restaurant owner.
A politician.
Start my own business.
Veterinary.
Elementary school teacher.
NBA player.
Cardiovascular surgeon.
Anesthesiologist.
Businesswoman in Nashville.
Social worker in Miami, Florida.
Politician in Washington, D.C.
Colorado.
Orlando, Florida. Houston, Texas.
In Chattanooga.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Seattle, Washington.
Nashville, Tennessee.
San Diego, California.
Nashville, Tennessee.
New York City, New York.
San Diego, California.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Nashville.
Los Angeles, California.
New York, New York.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Orlando, Florida.
Los Angeles, California.
Baltimore, Maryland. Clarksville, Tennessee.
Carolina Beach, Carolina. Philadelphia.
St. Louis, Missouri.
Clarksville, Tennessee.
You can help support Austin Peay students who don't have enough to eat by donating to the Save Our Students Food Pantry. The Save Our Students Food Pantry is looking for soup, pasta, canned meat, canned beans, peanut butter, and fruit. You can drop off your donations at the food pantry on Home Avenue. It's open Tuesdays through Friday, 8:30 until 4. For more information, call 221-1620, a campus reminder from Austin Peay.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Stephen Alexander. My next guest is truly an inspiration to us all. She is a 13-year-old entrepreneur who is slowly building her own empire. She is here today to discuss her candle business and much more. It is my honor to welcome Kierra Perkins, joined with her by her mother, Michelle Perkins. So how are you guys today?
Good.
Wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. Michelle, are you nervous?
Yes.
You are nervous? Okay, it's okay. We're in a safe place here. So, Kierra, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you go to school and just, tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm a student at Strive Collegiate Academy Middle School, and I live in Hermitage, Tennessee.
Okay.
And I stay physically active. I like doing sports. I like speaking in front of crowds, encourage kids. That's what I like to do.
And where does that come from, encouraging people and inspiring people at such a young age? Because she is 13, so where does that come from?
Well, I've been very social ever since I was young. I mean, very social. I would go out and I like talking to people, and then I would love like reading out loud to my dog, and I just love speaking to people. And when I speak to other people, I don't feel nervous. It's just that I want to like help them out sometimes. It's just like, if you want to talk to a person, you want to give them advice. You want to help them out saying, oh, it's okay, it's okay. I just want to do that and helping people and like inspire them to like start businesses and make them want to be an author, write books, go to college. That's what I would like them to do.
Wow, that's good, and that's a God-given gift, and I want you to continue to use that gift. I think that's so awesome that you have that gift. I want to talk a little bit about your candle business, and the name of it is called Candles by Kierra. So what caused you to want to start up your own candle business?
Well, I wanted to do something different from my dad for Father's Day, so I looked up candle making videos, and I made him the chocolate chip cookies and milk candles.
Goodness. So how did that go? So like when she looked it up, like was it hard to make when she started making them?
Well, no, it looked pretty easy, and I was like, ooh, I can do that.
So what is how do you make a candle? Because I don't know how you would make a candle, so how do you make a candle?
Well, sometimes you can use different wax sometimes. You can be like a gel wax, soy wax, some other type of wax. You can put it on there. It can be in a pot if you want it to be. So you can melt it, and then you can add candle dye if you want to use candle dye. And you obviously gonna have wicks.
Yeah.
You have to have a wick, and then you just pour the candle.
Okay, so you talk about candles, but you also make like wax burners and stuff like that. So can you tell us a little bit about your merchandise with that as well?
Well, I have soy-based candles, the chocolate chip cookies and milk candle, the cinnamon swirl cappuccino, the strawberry blast shake, which is my favorite, the That's Peachy, which is mom's favorite, the soft form cotton glazed lemon pound cake, the caramel pumpkin spice, and Team Dad. Now, each candle scent comes in a wax melt crumble because a lot of my customers are college students and they can't burn candles in dorms.
Yeah.
So I came out with the wax melt crumble so they can burn them in their wax melt warmers.
Okay. Oh, that is so smart. That is so smart. Let me tell you, my favorite one, I love all of them, but it was one that Mom had. I took it was like wrapped up, and we took it out, and it smells, the whole room was smelling. We haven't even burned it yet. So, your candles are really good candles. Yeah, so how does it make you feel to be able to give back in that sense, to where it's it's positiveness behind this. So how does it make you feel to just give back to people? In that nature?
Well, it has helped me with my self-confidence because now I'm able to speak in front of crowds, do motivational speeches, and network with different businesses. That has helped me a lot. And it had definitely helped me in math. It helped me in school in any type of way. It helps, especially math, mostly math, because I have to add and subtract the candle prices in my head when I'm at a candle event. And now that I know I can give back to the people, that helps me and it warms my heart.
Right. That's just amazing. How does it make you feel to hear your daughter just speaking with so much grace? And she's only 13, but she speaks, she's so intelligent. How does it make you feel to be a part of that?
Honestly, I am truly amazed with Kierra. I'm amazed because she started her business at 11.
Right.
I am overwhelmed with the dedication, the commitment that she has for her business. And honestly, I can just say that I am very, very proud of Kierra.
And as a mom, when you look at her, what is it? How does it make you feel, and what things do you identify with, like as you were growing up? Like, how does it make you feel to look at her and say, "Oh my goodness, like she's 13, I could have done this," or "I didn't do this"? Like, what does it make you feel like?
It really makes, again, I'm really proud because at 13, I was not trying to be an entrepreneur. I was busy riding my bike. I wanted to stay outside and play. I was not that committed at 13. I didn't know what I wanted to do at 13. So again, I'm very proud of her that she's made that decision at such a young age.
Right. So I want to talk about like a little bit about entrepreneurship, and I think it's cool that entrepreneurship allows you to grow. So how has that allowed you to grow, like just with people and just as a person? Like you say, you're able to speak more eloquently in front of people, but how has it allowed you to grow just as a person and in your confidence in who you are?
Well, just because I'm speaking in front of people now, and it has helped me a lot with my confidence, that just helps me in general. Just because of because I had no confidence at all in myself. I may have been very social when I was little, but I had no confidence.
So why did you not have confidence?
Because I felt like I wasn't that brave. I was very scary. I didn't like going outside. I didn't like bugs. I was very scary. But then I started doing candle, and I said, hey, I can do that. I felt very accomplished, and I felt great about doing that one accomplishment. Then I was like, I want to try this. I want to try that. And that helped me just build my confidence up. And then I started doing shows, events, and I started networking with businesses.
Yeah.
And that has helped me a lot become a better person in myself.
So I want to ask you, because a lot of people, they say they want to be an entrepreneur, they say they want to get things done, but they don't take the time to do it. So obviously, sounds like you're a go-getter. So how can people be a go-getter? Because nothing just comes to you in this life. You have to go and seek it. How can people do that? How can people have that mentality that you have? I know that they're not you, of course, but how can they be influenced by that?
Well, I tell them to start with a great support team. It could be their parents, their grandparents, or even their principal at college or school. And they must love what they do. They have to stay committed. If they don't believe in their ideas, nobody else will. I mean, they can't be successful if they're only about making money.
That's true.
And they must write their ideas down, because if you write your ideas down, you're more likely to learn from your ideas, and you can achieve your goals if you write your ideas down. An important thing to know is that don't let a friend discourage you, because some of your friends may be your biggest supporters, and you may have some that will try to bring you down. Don't let any negative comments or negative energy stop you from reaching your goals.
I'm glad that you mentioned friends, because I want to make a transition to that. So from Mom, how do you make sure that Kierra is on the right track with friends? Because as you know, she's very active in school. Mm-hmm. And what that means is, people are 13 years old, they're still 13. Oh, that Kierra, that's my friend, but they're not really, they don't have the best interest for her. So how do you teach her those values to kind of watch her back as she grows?
What I do with Kierra is, I never want her to think that I'm trying to choose her friends for her.
Okay.
I never want to do that. So what I do is, I have a series of questions that I ask Kierra when she comes to me with a concern.
Okay.
It depends on the situation. It's not always the exact same set of questions. And once she answers these questions, it's just like a little bright light, a bulb hits her. And that lets her know, is this actually a friend of mine? Is this a good friend of mine? Is this someone that is looking out for my best interests?
Yeah.
So that's why I always ask her a series of questions, just to see and let her realize, hey, is this really a true friend of yours?
Right. Well, guys, we have to take a quick commercial break. When we return, we're going to have more with this conversation, because it's going deep and I love it. So stay tuned. You're watching IST.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes, and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like, that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries, or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Welcome back. It's time for us to get in the zone. Today's topic is about the importance of becoming a go-getter. But I want to kind of transition a little bit because when we left before commercial, Miss Michelle was sharing with us like specific signs of friendships, and like you were talking about the questions that you ask Kierra when it pertains to, are these people really of value in your life? So can we talk about those questions? What are the questions that you have?
Well, again, it depends on the situation. For example, she came to me and asked me about a little girl who said she wants to be her best friend. And I know the same girl was the one that you had a really serious problem with last year. Okay. And so my series of questions, I began at first, how did that make you feel? Do you feel that you can trust her? What was her response to what you said? What was your response to what she said? So different little questions like that. Well, again, how does she, my biggest thing is I want her to know, how does she feel when she has a conversation with that person? How does she feel when that person makes a particular statement to her? And so once she feels, well, if she'll tell me, well, no, I don't think that was friend behavior. I don't think she really cares about how I feel. So then, well, Kierra, what do you think? Do you think you should be this person's best friend? Do you think this is a friend for you? So, and all the questions aren't negative. It just helps her really open her eyes and look at the situation. So that's what we normally do.
As a mom, that is such a powerful skill that you have, because the way you set it up is you ask her to where she makes the decision. And you're not, like you just said earlier, you're not forcing it down her throat, but you're opening the door so she can see. So how does that allow you to make the decisions? Like, as your mom helps you and guides you through that, how does it make you feel like when you sit and analyze those questions?
Well, it makes me think a lot. When she asks me those questions about my friends, who's this, and are they really close to you? Do you trust them? When she asks me those questions and I have to make the big decision, it makes me feel nervous, but I think mostly about what she said. And if I go back to school with that situation, I know how to handle and talk myself out the situation. That's how it makes me feel a little bit better. And it makes me feel, it makes me feel happy that I know that she has my back on everything.
Wow, that's beautiful right there. Did you hear that, Mom?
Yes.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I kind of want to talk about now, we have 2 minutes. I kind of want to talk about, like, where can people go and find your merchandise? Where can they go and purchase? Do you guys have a website or anything? So it's candlesbykierra.com, right? Can you guys kind of talk about that, like what's on the website and stuff like that?
Well, it has my schedule, what event I have next, and it has my Channel 4 and my Channel 5 interview. It tells my story about how I started my candle business, and it has my candles on there. And
oh, you're a race car driver too,
yes.
right? Isn't that on there?
Yes.
I forgot to even mention that. See, the time goes by so fast. Yeah, give us just a little bit. We have a little time. Give us a little bit of a synopsis about that. Like, what allowed you to be in the race car?
Well, my oldest sister used to race when I was younger, and she would always let me sit in her car, and I used to pretend that I was driving it, and I loved it.
Wow. So okay. So like, tell us about like some of the things you've done with the race. Are you like, how does that work? How does a race car work? Like, how does I don't know anything about race car.
Well,
it's a drag race. She drag races, so it's not round track. It's a drag strip.
Okay.
So she goes an eighth of a mile.
Yeah. So my car is 75 miles per hour, and it goes for an eighth of a mile. So it's just straight. Then there's a fishbowl at the end, and then you turn. That's the only time you turn your car. So it's basically a straight car, and you're just down a drag strip. That's all how you do.
I see. Well, We have to go. Time is just going by so fast. I thank you both for coming to the show. You said so many valuable things. I'm proud of you as a 13-year-old. Keep moving, keep pushing, and keep your eyes open because not everyone has your best interest, okay? And I mean that. Guys, thank you for tuning in today. See you guys next week with more news and entertainment. And always remember to, let's go Peay.